Houghton here from the American Digital Network studio. Hope everyone is having a great start to their week. Let's look back at a few of the league's top performances from this past weekend. After a high-scoring affair, Memphis quarterback Riley Ferguson was named the conference's Offensive Player of the Week. Ferguson tied the American single-game record for touchdown responsibility in the first half of the Tigers' 77-3 win against Bowling Green. He staked the Tigers to a 35-3 first-quarter lead and a 56-3 halftime lead by completing 20 of 27 passes for 359 yards and 6 touchdowns, and added a 1-yard rushing TD before exiting the game. Ferguson leads the American with 11 touchdown passes through 3 games. Tulsa safety Jeremy Brady took home the defensive honors for his performance this past Saturday. Brady came up with 2 key turnovers in the second half, helping Tulsa overcome a 31-0 deficit and take a 48-41 double overtime win at Fresno State. He had an interception in the end zone as Fresno State threatened to build a 2-touchdown lead, and he forced a fumble and fumble recovery in the first overtime period to prevent the Bulldogs from scoring first. If one overtime thriller wasn't enough, the Tulane Green Wave took us into a 4-overtime victory Saturday, setting up a big night for this week's Special Teams Player of the Week, Tulane kicker Andrew Duraco. Duraco had a career-high 4 field goals and scored 15 points to help Tulane to a 41-39 win against Louisiana Lafayette in 4 overtimes. He forced a 4th overtime period with a do-or-die 48-yard field goal in the 3rd overtime, and also had field goals of 22, 35, and 20 yards. Now let's take a look at several other notable performances that were named to this week's conference honor roll. UCF junior linebacker Shaquem Griffin had 5 tackles, 2 sacks, and 3 tackles for loss in a 53-14 win at Florida International. Houston freshman wide receiver De'Eric King was responsible for 3 touchdowns in a 64-3 win at Texas State. Temple senior running back Jahad Thomas had 143 all-purpose yards and scored 2 rushing touchdowns in a 48-20 win against Charlotte. Tulane wide receiver Taron Oncolod had 7 receptions for just over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Green Wave's 4-overtime win. And Tulsa running back D'Angelo Brewer rushed for 252 yards on a conference record 46 carries in Tulsa's overtime road win at Fresno State. All of this week's action gets underway Thursday night as UConn hits the road to take on Houston on ESPN. The Huskies were the only blemish on the Cougs schedule last season, so should be a good rematch. Then on Saturday, we have 6 games coming your way, highlighted by 3 conference matchups. Navy will also take on Air Force in its first step to reclaiming the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, while Memphis will head down the road to face Ole Miss. Congratulations to all of this week's honorees.